Welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis platform, and here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first. I'm Samson Yanini, and here is my take. Focus on the rot, not Martin Pebu, the whistleblower. And on your screen, you see a publication by My Joy Online. It says, retraction, Martin Pebu's comment. In that retraction, signed by him, he said that in the heat of the discussion, I passionately expressed my disgust at the inaction of the presidency in dealing with certain matters bordering on corruption. I do hereby retract and apologize for the expression purporting to connect the president of the republic to crime. And Newsfile, or Joy, also issued a disclaimer. Now, this is what somebody wrote. He says, quote, if you focus on Martin's retracted comment and not on the real scandal that the president isn't addressing, you are part of why Ghana is sinking. Kweku Nchibwesiakon posted on Facebook. He's right. You are actually a part of the syndicate enabling the looting you pretend to denounce, but which only gets worse as recent surveys confirm. But the quality of the sincere applause for what is ethical conduct has been far more than the ill-thought attacks for the demonstration of candor and maturity. And that is all that matters. Martin Pebu did a noble thing, acknowledging he didn't have to use, quote, part of the criminal syndicate, end quote. It is difficult to appreciate why anyone will gloat over that and seek to question his courage and integrity because he spoke the truth. If you could master only a little of that courage, we will easily succeed in stopping the grand corruption that explains why a poor country like ours is not able to account for $3 billion each year. Corruption. We could also avoid paying 5 billion cedis in bribes, as the survey just revealed. If only we directed our energies as much at public office holders who do not have the respect, courage, and humility to recognize their wrongs, this country will be a lot better. Well, the next time you are framed up for a serious criminal offense like murder, rape, etc., you could get bail only because Martin Pebu spent his own resources and skills to fight for that right for you. The next time someone whom you guaranteed bail for betrays your trust and runs away, you will not be arrested and become a candidate for jail because Martin Pebu has already fought to keep you out of that jail and won. If you fell victim to rape or you are abused and thrown out of your matrimonial home, you could get shelter and financial support to fight the perpetrator. Because this same Martin Pebu, you are misled to pour scorn on in your ignorance and blind partisan political conduct, spent his own resources, time and skill and knowledge to fight for the establishment of the Domestic Violence Victim Support Fund. Yes, some of you, for some strange reasons, believe Oliver Mause Barkap Vomawo is capable of toppling the government in a coup d'etat. But even so, suspects have rights. It was Martin Pebu who, in his usual defense of the ordinary citizen, boldly spoke truth to power about the abuse of his rights and his treatment as though he had been convicted. He has stressed that people should not be hanged if they committed harmless blunders in what they say while criticizing those they entrust with the governance of the state. Imagine how many politicians and commentators would survive in such a society. Stop imagining that he was forced or he feared facing court over that comment. First, there cannot be what you ignorantly claim to be criminal charges in this matter because there cannot be any such. Second, it will only be a pursuit in an ill-advised nuisance suit, and some public office holders would only be set up for maximum damage if they dared to mount the witness box or stand under cross-examination to assert a character free from the corruption they have accused others of in a defamation suit. Someone wrote, quote, "It's easy to duck and claim dexterity in the art of war when you don't actually expect real bullets to fly. Let's grant these cowards their hollow victory. If they know the anger that is brewing, they would be more worried." But Martin's bravery in taking on these issues so head-on wins my admiration any day. Martin is brewing several Martin-like clones. When the day comes, when all the Martins get unleashed, we will see who will show their faces, end quote. I share the invitation to focus on what angers Martin and impoverishes us so we can get duty bearers to do right by us in the Northern Development Authority fraudulent inflation of contract price scandal. Martin blew the whistle publicly right here on Newsfile. And the least we expect, and legitimately so, is that those indicted and now being investigated by the OSP ought to have been interdicted, just as was done to the former PPA boss when Manasseh's Contracts for Sale documentary was aired. Let's direct our energies to the thieves and their collaborators, and not those helping expose them and demanding good governance and democratic accountability. Read about the bizarre and wasteful COVID-19 fumigation contract Martin spoke about before talking. Manasseh Azorah-Ewene did that investigative piece revealing a job the District Assembly said they could do was rather packaged in contracts for that one sanitation company in this country. It already had an existing contract to do that same fumigation job each year, paid for. But it was yet again handed this new contract in the name of COVID-19 for potential duplication for double payments. Let that sink in. The assemblies said they had the equipment and only needed money to purchase the chemicals for spraying of markets and schools, and that they would have done it cheaply. This company did the job that the supervising state actors show curious figures on how much it cost the taxpayer. The local government ministry said phase 1 and phase 2 of the spraying cost you and I 153 million Ghana cedis. Wait, the finance minister said phase 1 alone cost you and I 122 million Ghana cedis. Put the two together and think. The local government and education ministries spent about 500 million, let that sink in, 500 million on the scandalous spraying, which was authorized by the president. Some 4 or more reputed experts, including scientists at the few specialized public institutions, confirmed the World Health Organization's position that the mass spraying was no COVID-19 measure, and there was no state regulatory agency approval for the exercise to fight COVID-19 either. Citizens watched the investigative documentary and went to sleep. Some will wake up to blame the media as though they had paid their taxes to Manasseh to risk his life beyond exposing the rots. The Constitution in Article 35, Clause 8 enjoins the state to, quote, take steps to eradicate corrupt practices and the abuse of power, end quote. And the buck stops with the executive president who won elections on a campaign to fight corruption. And that is my take. We're right back to get into the issues that we are canvassing for you this morning. But this show, as always, is brought to you by the kindest sponsorship of Bank of Africa, as strong as a group and close as a partner. MTN everywhere you go. Ashesi University, educating ethical and entrepreneurial leaders for Africa. Robert & Sons Optical Services, your comprehensive eye care service provider for 31 years. Waylead Properties, home is where one stars. Farnet Ghana, think wood, think Farnet. And Duroplus, where Duroplus goes, water flows. I'll be right back to introduce my guest and we get into the issues.